Galesburg to almost Kansas City. We, like I said, 102-year-old co-op. We do about 65 to 70 million bushel grain a year. Most of it goes down the river. A lot of specialty grain. Work with Benson Hill and a few other companies. The biggest thing that we wanted to talk about was the improved varieties. Like I said, this really kind of rough for me here, guys. But there's three of us here. Ryan Sharp's back here, Kellen Kruger, myself, Michael Hicks. Everybody knows about cover crops, I hope, in this room. Most of you raised your hand. The one thing that we've really seen over the last few years working with cover crops is the difference in the varieties, the improved varieties versus just VNS, and getting the proper seed, the proper mix out there to do what we want to do. By using the more improved varieties, we're improving the nitrogen, we're improving the ability to kill it, getting more established stands. By doing all that, we're getting a little bit better results. I'm kind of open for questions here, guys. It is. I'm really sorry. I kind of got thrown in this here just like a few hours ago. Yes, ma'am.
What cover crops do you specialize in?
So we do everything from all the cereal grains to your radishes, turnips, clovers, everything. We do complete mixes. We're starting to do a lot more with the cover crops, actually coating them and inoculating them, get a lot better stand with that. Even some of the cereal grains, we've started to do that just like you would do with seed production. We're doing that with some of the rye and the barleys and stuff. We're able to cut back our rate substantially when we're treating them because we're able to get a lot better stand established, no different than with wheat. We're treating it more as a crop than we are just a cover. Treatment's very cheap compared to the cost of seed, and so we're able to treat that and cut back on our seed cost. Seed cost is, as you guys know, in the last 5 years has gone up substantially, and we're able to treat that and actually lower our input cost per acre. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thoughts on non-gluten overwintering cover crops? Do you have any favorable ones, one that do well for the north and down south can be a little more favorable, but up in say Iowa, any thoughts on overwintering and non-gluten seeds?
So we've had really good luck with hairy vetch in our area. We will use some barley, stuff like that will help us a little bit. There's some new varieties of like the rye and stuff that's coming out. It's going to be a lot shorter. I don't think we're going to have the issue with that we've had in the past, like in your guys' beans. I mean, we grow production beans for Benson Hill, and getting that wheat, the rye and stuff in the cover crop, we've had some issues before. Some of the stuff that we've seen by doing that is planting it a little thinner has helped us substantially. Adding some hairy vetch, some of the different rashes in terms with that, we've had really good luck with that. Using some of the improved clovers like the fixation or the Valencia clovers instead of using the crimson clover, we've had a lot better luck with those kind of products. They're very small seed, so you got to be really careful with incorporations on those. But when it comes to the Benson Hill program, we've had really good luck with that in our area. And I'm going to say 95% of our guys that's growing those beans are doing cover crops in front of those. We will terminate those very early, plant those beans very early, and we're having real good luck with that. If you are having trouble with getting cereal grains in your beans, there's some really good products out there. A lot of guys here have been talking about biologicals. There's some products that you can spray over the top when you do your burn down of your cereal rye. Exterminator is one of them I'm thinking of, but there's several of them out there we've had really good luck with in our area. You know, you get chest high rye, and that stuff just does not lay down by the time you go to harvest your beans. You get some of these biological products out here, that stuff's gone when you go to harvest beans. We've had real good luck with it the last 2 years. Yes, sir.
Concerns with hard seated hairy vest, and then, best applications for, variety specific cover crops like head corn, trying to let it get big or anything like that.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the first part.
Concerns with hard seed and hairy veg.
Yeah, so that's one thing that, I mean, hard seed, but hairy veg, your turnips, your rashes, all your clovers. I mean, we're gonna get some of that every year. We see it. I'm not a real big concern of that just because we're gonna continue to do cover crops every year. And it's no different in a pasture out here. You're gonna get some of it come back. You use a good residual. If you're not using good residual, that's the first thing you need to start on, using multiple residuals. But we're not seeing a real big issue with hard seed. In front of corn, we're doing a lot of barley, winter barley, with hairy vetch and fixation clover. Having really good luck with that. It doesn't take a lot of any of it when you mix it together. So, you know, for a $25 to $40 per acre, you can get a really good mix. Yes, sir.
Quality control on your seeds for different states that have different qualifications and the seeds and, you know, weed seeds and whatever.
Yeah, so everything that we do, so all the small seeds, the majority of that's gonna come all out of Oregon. The rye, the barley, stuff like that's gonna come out of the Dakotas or Canada. Everything comes north. That's one thing I've been really picky about. The only thing I try to buy out of the South, I'm so worried about Palmer. The only thing that I get out of the South is sorghum, and that's about the only place to get a lot of that stuff. But everything's state tested. When we bring samples in, we send samples into the Illinois crop just to make sure that what's on the tag is what we're actually getting. We don't want no surprises. The state inspector in Missouri, in our area, is a customer of mine, very good friend. He likes to show up in my warehouse. He can come in and get 6 months worth of samples out of my warehouse, so he's there a lot. But it is a major concern, guys, and that's, like I said, I was supposed to have Mark Thomas here and talk about improved varieties, and I guess the biggest thing that when we look at buying seed, no different than you guys as producers, when you look at seed, you gotta buy some from somebody reputable. I mean, you can get on Facebook Marketplace, you can buy anything you want. There's guys harvesting everything. They've got a little cleaner in the back of the shed, in the back of the truck. If you're doing it on your own farm, that's your business. But just be really careful when you're going out buying from somebody you don't know who it is. You just don't know what you're getting, how good a quality, has it been tested, what's the germ. And I don't care if you're buying from me or the guy down the street. Just make sure it's a reputable company you're buying from. Yes, sir.
Talk about maximizing your nitrogen production ahead of corn. What's your recommendations of how much nitrogen to seed in those recommendations?
So I would tell you that when we put a recommendation together, I'm not taking the credits from hairy vetch, from crimson clover, from the biological. We're putting a plan together, and we'll sit down with the producer, figure out where the goal is. We'll more or less use that as an extra. We're trying to make everything be around that 0.8 mark or less. We work on some really good dirt to probably some of the worst sand there is, and so everything varies there. What we found is we go to the best dirt, a lot of that stuff doesn't help us. I mean, they're getting so much nitrogen out of the soil that, you know, they're doing 0.5 to 0.6 and getting plenty of nitrogen out of the soil. Then we go to the sand and they're having to do, you know, 1.2, and we're probably getting closer to that 0.9 to 1:1 ratio there. But I'm not the guy that's gonna sit up here like some of these guys are gonna say in the next 3 days and say, you're gonna get 40 pounds of nitrogen. I'm not gonna say here, because you're gonna go kill that stuff when it's this tall and tell me, well, my corn's yellow. You know, the guys get it up here where it blooms and they come plant corn the 20th of May in our area, they're gonna get a lot more nitrogen. And so we'll see it both ways. I mean, every farm's different. You gotta sit down and put a plan together, what fits your farm, your operation. And And it may be field to field. I mean, you may have that field that's in the bottom that you're gonna let grow a lot longer because you know the river's gonna get out, the creek's gonna get out, and you can figure more there than you can on the hill that you're gonna go kill it and plant it, you know, April 1st in our area, so.
Okay, those are really good comments. Any other, are you gonna be here the rest of the week?
So we'll be here till Thursday afternoon.
All right.
All three of us, we got Ursa shirts around. Feel free to catch us somewhere. We'll be downstairs probably later.
All right, well, thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you, guys.
And good advice. I pick up good advice all along in Ohio about be careful who you buy cover crop seed from. I'll just leave it at that. The ones who are working with you, sound like this co-op, to maximize your benefits rather than their benefits is the type of one you want to work with. All right, one more. And I'm going to fill out your evaluation survey from Simpus.